Imagine that.
You haven't even come round to mastering what your own purpose is, or what your own calling is, or what's in front of you. You haven't mastered it, but you are busy looking next door.
True that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, Christians. I'm a Christian myself, and
Yeah.
you find so many Christians are very prayerful. So many Christians will spend a lot of time in prayer, but then prayer alone does not get you to the destination that you're supposed to get at.
Right.
Prayer and action, faith plus action is what causes God's action and his favor and doors to open upon you. So there's so many people out there who are very prayerful. There's nothing wrong with being prayerful, but be somebody who watches and prays, somebody who is action oriented and prays, because prayer alone does not yield results. Therefore, we need to be a generation and a people who understand. Otherwise, Africa is where it is today because, trust you me, there are so many very strong, prayerful warriors out there, but they are not action oriented. But on this planet, trust you me, the Bible said there is seed time and harvest, right?
Yeah.
Not just prayer time and expecting God to do something.
Like after praying, what are you doing?
True that, because
So, 2 weeks.
shoko ramwari rinoti God will bless the works of your hands. But then majority of us, are spending. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with prayer, but guys, we're in moderation. Remember, you need to work. You cannot be, get me correctly, I hope I'm not misquoted, be, going to church every day and so much time is being consumed in things that are not rewarding you financially.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you become a very, spiritual person, but then in your pockets you lack things. And this is a message for somebody who's out there listening. Your prayer is great, but now, like your amazing topic, your what did you say your thing is? Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Just
Becky is
do
just
it.
do it. And we have to become the just do it type of people. To no matter, yes. But let's become more action oriented so that we can get the results. And then our prayer adds to that.
Adds to that. And the prayer made ravens to bring food to Elijah.
But Elijah was working. People shouldn't misquote
People
that.
shouldn't misquote that.
Yeah, people shouldn't misquote that.
You
Yeah.
know what? Work and prayer.
Yeah.
It's actually prayer, work, and then you get the result.
True.
Because you can work, and you can harvest zero. Washanda kudaro, the land can be cursed.
True.
But you're like, but I'm working, I'm putting in the work. Wonderful. You applied the principle of work, right? What about the principle of prayer? What about the principle of communicating with the higher power? Why are you living out that principle?
True
So
that.
you work, you pray, and you will succeed. You pray, you work, you will succeed. So you pray, work, and act.
True that.
Yeah, there's no need for you to be doing one thing and leaving out the other.
Very true.
On Hustle Hard today, we're talking about focus on yourself and not on others. It can be easy to fall into a pattern of doing things for others rather than for ourselves. Right? I used to be that kind of person who's like, can I help you? Can I help you? Then I turn around and I'm like, what have I done for myself?
That's
I
right.
haven't improved myself one bit. I haven't improved my intellect. I haven't improved anything about myself. But I was so willing to assist others. And this is what we want to talk about. To undervalue our present well-being, but eventually this can cause burnout, and then we're not good to anyone. Even Superman needs to take a day off.
True that.
Without some time for ourselves and allowing some well-earned relaxation, we may end up having a negative impact on the things we are trying so hard to maintain. For example, we can end up representing the things we are trying to maintain or develop. In order to avoid such things, we need to check in with and focus on ourselves more regularly so that we do not misrepresent the end goal. Here you are focusing on what others are doing and not on what Becky is doing or what George is doing or Mai Matipa or Tafadzwa or Tanatswa. Focus on you. Take us through it.
Yeah, true that. So there's a quote that says, wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. Right? Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows.
Right.
And so many people today are focusing on the wrong things, and they are wasting their energy on unproductive things which do not build, which do not encourage, which do not inspire, which do not do any positive development things to themselves,
Right.
which is why people are where they are today.
So take that line again.
Where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Absolutely.
So in this day and age, trust you me, one of the greatest distractions for the youth and even some adults is social media. And they are focusing on that. And on social media, what will happen, you will begin to see people's success. You know, on social media, very rarely, and I say very rarely, do you see a picture of somebody who is going through a bad time or things that are, you know, in the stage where they were beginning or things were hard. You only get to see the full-fledged, flourished individual, the flower when it's blossoming.
Absolutely.
And what then happens, you focus on that without understanding that, wait a minute,
His work.
this person planted a seed, and that seed took time to germinate. And after 10 to 15 years, this person has germinated and now has become the person that they are today. What then happens to people when they see that? This is what's happening currently now, where people are living a life which they are not equipped to sustain financially because they are focusing on the end product of a certain individual, yet they are at the beginning stage. You know, it's very misleading when you watch a movie 10 minutes before it finishes and you see this guy kicking somebody, and then, that's the end of the movie. Everything was bright and rosy, but you did not go to the beginning, to the actual start of that, to see what actually transpired for that person to then end up where they are. And this is where we are misplacing our focus. We are so concerned with other people's success and not concerned on how they became successful, but on just the end result, which is what's leading so many people out there to be driving cars they shouldn't be driving, to be living a lifestyle to please other people when they themselves are not financially there yet to be living the life that they're living. For them to be peer pressured to take their kids on, very expensive things and living a lifestyle which is above and beyond. Imagine a boss of an organization driving the latest car, but then his own institution does not have a fleet of cars or is not paying his workers well because he wants to put up a front that is success. And this is what is killing a lot of people out there, because their focus is going on the wrong things, and their energy is also following in that regard. And it has caused a lot of people being in serious debt, being unhappy. It's caused a lot of marriages to collapse. It's caused a lot of people to become depressed, because when you see people going on holiday or people living a certain life, understand they are choices that specific people made for them to plan on going on that course. But then when you want to do it and imitate other people, you don't have the financial backing, you don't have the business, you don't have the income coming in, even though you're away, to be able to sustain that life. Therefore, you're going to see yourself being put in a very uncomfortable situation, which is led by peer pressure and wanting, like we said, to please people. And that lack of focus on understanding what you want to become and what you want to be ultimately will hinder you from becoming what God purposed you to be.
Is there an age or a stage where peer pressure ceases to be peer pressure? Would a 40-year-old suffer from something like that?
With what's happening right now, a lot of people are, because of social media, trust you me, social media has made people, I love to use social media productively. I love to understand, how people are making it and what they're doing and what principles they put out. But it doesn't matter what age it is. Young people are being influenced by social media to be peer pressured to do certain things. Even those who are, there's no age limit to peer pressure. Everybody is succumbing to this thing because their lack of focus on what they want to become has become a huge distraction in them fulfilling a sustainable, stable source of income and a lifestyle that can be fruitful not only for their generation but the next generation. And this is one of the serious issues that you have to take self-reflection on taking yourself accountable to say, where do I want to be? Now, one thing I did with some of my mentees on the GB mentorship, I asked, what is your 5-year goal? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Now, Becky K, I know if I ask you that, you have a clear-cut vision of where you want to go.
It took time, though.
Yeah, it did. But get it correctly. The moment you actually take a pen and a journal, not a paper, and a journal, and actually begin to write something down, the mind begins to envision it, and you begin to see that, wait a minute, I want to harvest 10 hectares of this. This is my vision, right? When you write it down, no matter what distraction comes your way, you have a clear plan written on what you want to do. So if somebody comes and says, hey, let's do this, your focus is clear because you know what you want to achieve.
And you will also know if Dubai is in the plan.
That's right.
If it's not in the plan, you should not be doing anything to do with that.
And imagine there are people who, if somebody buys a new phone or a new car, they are pressured to say, I think Nasara, let me buy a new this. Let me buy new hair. Let me, So your lack of focus on what your long-term goals is going to affect so many people in becoming what they're supposed to be. Now, there's lack of discipline, there's lack of, focus on knowing, good, this is what I want to do. And guess what? It's going to deter a lot of people who don't have a vision and a plan of what they want to be.
That's painful. We need to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to answer some of the questions or read some of the questions that are coming through and answer them. Also, read some of the contributions. But I leave you with this, with the question that George posed and said, do you know where you want to be in 5? Do you know what you want to do on Wednesday, or what you should be doing on Wednesday?
Yeah, and this goes on to deliberately say that a lot of people don't know what they want because they lack what's called planning. They don't have what is called.
Hold on. Just need to sort out that mic. I need to sort that one out.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think it's good now. Daytona.
Yeah. Yes, please. All right, guys, we just need to sort out something. All of you who are tuned in live on radio, you're probably hearing some nice music going on. I'm with George Belen here in studio, and on Hustle Hard we talk about just gearing you up for life, gearing you up. Yes, everyone is hustling, everyone is doing something, but we want you to move from a point of trying to work for something and then you're at startup for 5 years. Your business is still called a startup. No, this is what we're trying to change.